Hello, I am Sarah Millican and this is episode 43 of How to Be Champion Storytime. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you've had at least one biscuit. What have I had today? Oh, I had like a shortbready thing with chocolate just on one end. Why would you do one end? Some people don't know how to make biscuits. Just soak the whole thing. Anyway, hi. Episode 43. We're still in the pre-stand-up stand-up section. Let's crack on. My family must have seen a turning point in me then. For me, it was a thing ticked off my list. Never to be done again. No need. Done it. 4 months later, I rang Kate, out of the blue, I suppose. I just rang her and told her I wanted to try stand-up. And she said, I know. Like she'd been waiting for the call. She got me a gig and offered to meet me there before it to give me some more tips. The gig was at the Cumberland Arms in Byker and run by John Cooper. I had 5 minutes on stage. I went straight from work and realised on the way that I'd forgotten the page of jokes I'd written. It was the bits from the monologue the crowd had laughed at and a few more I'd written since. I had no time to go home, so I just decided to busk it, remember what I could and see what happened. Kate, as promised, met me at the pub before the audience came in. I stood on stage, mic in one hand, cable in the other, as I'd learnt on the course. With no idea what to wear, I'd brought a Marxie's batwing, long-sleeve black top and jeans. The way comedy gigs usually work is that the new people go on in the middle, and this was no different. The opener, then the newest in the middle, and the most experienced stroke best at the end. John, the booker, was MC, and Ben Schofield was opening with the late Mark Ruff closing. When I went on, the audience sat there, a lot of arms folded, and for the first 2.5 minutes remained much the same. I remember silence, but maybe it was less harsh than that. Then I did a joke about my dad being the voice of doom and my life changed. Oh, to read the joke, see chapter 17. That's to come. The room went from silence to a roar of laughter, a big woof of recognition, pity, acceptance, and poor bugger, but laughter all the same. And at that moment, I realised that even though my then husband didn't love me, 50 people upstairs in a pub in Byker did, or at least liked me. A lot. Turns out no one cared about the batwing top. That's one of the things I love about stand-up. No one cares what you're wearing. I can do a full tour and get a couple of people on social media ask where my dress is from, and 219,998 people who don't give a shit, as long as I was funny. Ben Schofield came up to me after the gig and said, "Are you willing to travel?" I said yes, and he gave me the number of a Manchester promoter to contact for a gig. I smiled, and as he walked away, I deleted the number. I wasn't going to travel for this. Was he mad? Can I just remind you that I have since done shows in Australia and New Zealand. I left my leather gloves at that gig, and when I mentioned that to comic, sometimes Night Owl's host, Metro Radio's late night phone-in show, and all-round good egg, Stephen Peddy, update, now on BBC Radio Newcastle, and doing an excellent job. He offered to drive by the pub to see if they were still there, and then give me them the next time we gigged together. What an adorable man. That was after meeting him once. I thought he was trying to get into my pants. Turns out he was just a nice bloke. My second gig is significant, as it was where I met the love of my life, if you don't count the dog, which I shouldn't, but sometimes do. It was at the Corner House in Newcastle and run by Warren Speed. The opening act was supposed to be Nick Coppin, but he'd been replaced by a bloke called Gary something. And the How to Be Champion tip at the end of this chapter is, if there's something you really want to do, work out how to do it and get cracking. Sometimes vocalising what it is you want to do makes it all seem so much more feasible. My friend Annie and I used to make an annual list of what we wanted to achieve that year, and the rule was that it had to be achievable goals. So we couldn't say, I want a sitcom on the BBC, but we could say, I want to write a sample sitcom script and get it on the desk of someone at the BBC. She also added in domestic stuff like new carpet for the living room. Whatever it is you want, write it down, and doing it with a friend is a great idea. Then at the end of the year, look at the list and see what you managed. You'll be surprised. We had usually ticked off at least half. Pinpoint what it is you want, work out how to get there from where you are, how to get how to get from where you are to where it is. That makes more sense. And just get started. There's no magic involved. Be focused and work hard. And that is the end of episode 43. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good rest of day. Send me in the messages a comedian, not me, but a comedian that you've seen live on stage or on the telly that you really like. Let me know somebody who makes you laugh aside from me. We'll just assume that you like me, because otherwise, why are you watching me every day, you loons? But tell me another comedian who you really like and post that in the comments, and I'll have a read, and that'll be really interesting to see who else you like. Lots of love. Have a good rest of day. Take care of yourselves. Stay in the house. Wash your fucking hands. And I'll see you tomorrow. That's love. Bye-bye.
Hello, it's Sarah Millican here. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with all of my latest videos. Don't forget to like, pop a comment below, and why not stick around to watch a few more? I'm sure those emails or those dishes can wait a bit longer.